I was created for such a time as this. 2020 has been a year like no other. Pretty much everything in my life was turned on its head. From the beginning, 3 things have helped me through: gratitude for what God has done, and gratitude for the little things. Trust that the world is still figuring out how to live with this virus, but I serve a God who knows all. And faith in His word that says He will never leave us or forsake us. I worked in an elementary school before school suddenly closed due to the pandemic. I was without an income until I was offered a different position. After a month or so of juggling this new position and homeschooling my kids, that position was put on hold. It turned out that it was right at the end of the school year, and I was able to have time to step in and help my children to wrap the school year up. With assignments that were online and almost no instruction being given, it was really rough to be a full-time teacher. It was a blessing in disguise that job ended when it did. God literally worked miracles in the amount and the quality of the work that my children got done. They went from worrying about their grades to getting grades that were so good that the teacher said, no, they don't need to do pass or fail. They need to get the grades that they earned because they worked hard for them. It was nothing but God and His timing. My son graduated from high school, and he's in college now, and my daughter is doing well in her last year of middle school. With a successful end to the school year, it was time for me to get back to work. I had been offered a different position, which they told me was going to be put on hold until school ended. But when I called, I was told they had given half of my schedule to a different person. So I was disappointed, and actually I was mad. But God told me not to worry. So I started the new job. Within about a week, they asked me, could I work another day on my schedule? So I was, okay, fine, I'll work another day. Within another week, I was back to the full schedule that I had originally been promised. Again, it was nothing but God and His timing. Before the pandemic started, my husband and I started a business transaction, and everything seemed to be going just perfectly. Then in April, we learned that somebody made a mistake, and because of that mistake, the whole process was going to be delayed, and it was going to cost us a lot of money. Again, I was disappointed and I was mad because this was not our fault. This time, God reminded me everything happens for a reason. I literally heard him whisper to Evelyne, everything happens for a reason. So I just took comfort in knowing I didn't know the reason, but God did, so it was going to be okay. Because of that delay that the mistake caused, opportunities opened up that weren't available when we were originally going through this transaction. Again, God's timing. Each of these things seem like bad news, but God knows what He's doing. He knows how to prepare us for such a time as this. Recently, to be quite honest, life has been a bit overwhelming. I described the other day to my husband my state of mind. I said, feels like I'm in a dense fog and I'm just holding God's hand and just putting one foot in front of the other. We all have times in our lives when we can feel overwhelmed. Whether your experience right now is feeling blessed and highly favored, or you're struggling just to make it through the day, know that God has you. When things are great, God is there. When things seem to be falling apart and you just can't seem to get a break, God is there. He promises to never leave us or forsake us. When things get rough, I remember that I can trust God. That His word says to trust in Him with my whole heart and lean not to my own understanding. In all my ways acknowledge Him and He will direct my path. Even when the fog of life is thick and I can't see my way, God is there to guide me. No matter what life throws my way, I know if I keep my hand in God's hands, I will make it. That's my testimony. Our collective, for such a time as this, is a global pandemic. But whatever your personal, for such a time as this is, Know that God is there to hold your hand and guide you through it. I was created for such a time as this.